Hey, 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 welcome back to the Golden Heartland channel. I am super excited to bring you another Fiber Folks interview. My name is Joy Cochran. I'm the business coach for Fiber Folks. And here with me today is the amazing Sally Brandon of the Shepherd Studio. Sally, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you, Tina. Thanks for having me. It's fun to get to do this with you.
You have the most amazing story about just where you have come from, where you have been. I'm going to shut up and let you talk because I want to hear all about this journey that the Lord has been taking you on recently.
It has been a journey. So most people know me as Sally from the Shepherd's Mill because for 17 years I did their custom processing, worked for folks across the country, and I think we were up to 43 states when we sold the mill. And loved being able to work with the individual customers and getting to create yarns from their fiber. In doing that, though, my original goal was to become a weaver, and being able to be a weaver and manage the mill and keep machines running and take care of my two kids who joined us 10 years ago, and be a farmer's wife and a pastor's wife. I was kind of afraid at the end.
Hashtag all the things.
Hashtag all the things. Afraid at both ends, trying to figure out how to get off the merry-go-round.
Right.
And that's about the time, I think, just before Jay and I officially decided we were going to sell the mill.
Right.
Is when you and I connected again.
Yeah.
Through the fact that you were one of those delightful clients that I got to work with for so
long. I loved, Sally you're the hero, right? She did. I sent my alpaca fiber off to Phillipsburg, Kansas, and some magic fairies turned it into yarn and sent it back. It was amazing.
Yes. And only if I had a few more of those magic fairies, I would still let the spinning and all go on right here. But there just wasn't enough time for everything.
And weaving's where your heart is it not?
Weaving is where my passion is. I believe it's a God-given gift. I believe wholeheartedly that He set me on the path to weaving many, many years ago when He gave me this, I don't even know what you call it, bright. It wasn't a bright light experience. It was this, we'll let Sally think this was her own idea. And maybe she'll fall for it.
He tricks us sometimes, doesn't he?
Sometimes. Anyway, on my way home from college one day, I applied to be an international 4-H youth exchange to Finland. And that was in 88. Had no idea I was going to be going to Finland. I really was applying to go to either Germany or New Zealand because of sheep and because of some German language background that I had. But God sent me to Finland. And while I was there, I was blessed to spend some time in one of their little community weaving houses, learning to weave, and spent some time with one of my host grandmothers learning to do bobbin lace. And
wow, bobbin lace, that's impressive.
Those two things are so interconnected in my life. They are so much a part of my life that I can't imagine them not being what I'm doing. So, you fast forward a few years because I'm in college and I got to go through all these jobs that everybody thinks are real jobs.
Yeah.
Because art is not a real job.
Right. We get jobs to support our habit because art's just a hobby.
Yeah. Right. So the weaving loom arrived on the porch shortly after I got married, in a box of pieces that had to be put together. Yeah. But I couldn't find any directions in English. They were all in French. So I studied the pictures.
Right.
And my dear husband, Jay, sat on the couch and giggled at me. But he let me put it up in our spare bedroom.
Right.
And he encouraged me. He let me do the weaving. And Fast forward another, 6, 8 years. We were on our way home from the Great Western Alpaca Show. I was planning on becoming a weaver for the alpaca industry on a commission basis. I had picked up one commission, actually a couple, 3 commissions, I guess, off of that. And there was a little mill set up right next to us. And Jay was visiting back and forth with them. And on the way home, he said, I think that's what the Lord would have us do.
Detour.
Yeah, funny. That wasn't what
we file that under when God sends us on a detour.
Right. Yes, but this was a godly detour. This was an opportunity, as I said, to learn to make the fabulous yarns I wanted for my weaving. Learning to design them from the ground up, to select the fibers that I want for the quality that I want to weave, and blending for colors and creating a unique product. And in the meantime, getting to meet a whole lot of wonderful people, and getting to share our witness a lot as well. And that's been really cool. Also getting to work full-time 24/7 with my husband. That I don't recommend to every young couple in the world, but
it worked for you guys.
It did work. And it gave us some great insight into working in public with each other, and into each other's personalities and strong suits. And
very cool.
Yes, that was interesting. Cool. There's a whole story in all.
There's a whole. We may have to do a part 2 here.
Yes. Marriage counseling 101.
So you're at a place now where you've transitioned through the detour. I think it's so fascinating, and I love that you shared the beginning of this, because when you know the beginning and then you look at where you are now, it's almost like God brought you right back to the beginning. So where are you now?
He's brought me right around the mountain. And I don't think that it was a detour in some ways. It was definitely a learning loop.
Right.
There were so many things I needed to learn in that process. So yes, he's brought me right back to starting over. So blessed to have another couple running the Shepherd's Mill now as Fiber Mill in Lewisburg, Kansas. Able to work with them to get what I want, still mentoring them as well.
Right.
But now I am wholly focused on weaving, and that's been since January.
So you are no longer the Shepherd's Mill. I'm going to pop this up here. You are the Shepherd Studio. So your site is now theshepherdstudio.com, right?
Right. We made that choice to divest ourselves of the Shepherd's Mill, because it doesn't really fit what I'm doing anymore.
Right.
And this is definitely an artist studio. If you can see the wall behind me, if you could see the table behind me,
you're standing right in front of that table.
I posted an Instagram because I kept getting sidetracked by those buttons back there.
There you go.
So it's a whole different atmosphere, which has taken a lot of getting used to.
Right.
We've dealt with a different form of production.
Right.
A different kind of marketing.
Yeah.
A different focus of my time.
Right.
And quite frankly, some shedding of some things that just needed to go away.
Pruning needs to happen. So what do you offer now? So it's pretty cool what I've been hearing that you offer.
God has done some amazing things, and he gave me the opportunity to be a part of Kansas City Fashion Week this fall. So I was able to do 10 looks, jackets and jewelry for 10 models that walked the runway at Kansas City Fashion Week. And those 10 jackets became the Joy collection.
Nice.
As I truly feel like I am where God has me, where joy can overflow. The jewelry pieces for them are all one-of-a-kind pieces. The jackets themselves are all one-of-a-kind I should say jackets and wraps, because some of them are more wrap-like,
Right.
are all one-of-a-kind pieces. And I have invested in some inventory that of the one-of-a-kinds. But
Mhm.
really, my goal with this is to become a weaver to the individual, and
What does that mean? A weaver to the
a weaver
individual.
to the
What does
individual.
that mean?
I love that God created each one of us as unique individuals that reflect His glory,
Right.
that are created in His image and are perfect in His image.
Nice.
And I am blessed to get to create some garments to celebrate those individual women of distinction. Um, I just came home last weekend from a meeting with a client that I thought was going to be for a jacket. And when I got down there, she'd actually been thinking a little bit further than the jacket. And so we ended up discussing a wrap as well as a vest. She had seen something online she kind of liked in the form of a vest, but wondered if I could make it for her.
Wow.
So we're doing individual fabrics for her, custom fit, because she's a very, very tiny lady, and things that she can that are going to be her own. They're going to be
Wow.
created the way she wants them, with the colors and the patterns and the textures that she wants.
Wow.
I'm so excited to get to do that.
This is so cool.
And I
So
want
do
to
you
share,
you're gonna be are you gonna be doing this for how much
I
bandwidth do you have to do this? Because this is very custom, right?
so I am slow fashion, which is a buzzword in the industry today.
Right.
We are throwing away so much
Right.
fabric in the landfills, so much clothing that just doesn't last.
Right.
My goal is to be timeless, and
So those
garments
kind
that
of
will
almost
wear.
like an heirloom piece,
Right.
right?
Seasons after seasons after seasons,
Love this.
my garments come actually with a lifetime satisfaction. So that means that if something happens, we can do the repair work for you, take care of them as well.
Wow. So don't be afraid of it.
No, we want
Yeah.
them, we want you to wear them and to
Right. I bought it and I don't wear it because I'm terrified, right?
yes. No, they don't want that to happen, because that doesn't
Right.
express your individuality.
Right.
We don't
Right.
want to hide in a bucket.
Right. Right. Well, I love you've used some key phrases that I just absolutely love. So the Joy collection was basically you're now in a place where joy can overflow,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And then you create slow fashion that creates garments that celebrate who we are,
Right.
right?
Right.
This is so cool. I don't even have to ask you. I mean, typically I'm like, how does your faith fit into this? Your faith is just woven right into it
I am.
all,
Yes, yes. It's a
right?
little hard for that not to be around me.
Yeah.
Um, and I believe that's where God's got me, is that
Yeah.
He has me meeting people one on one, where we can talk about faith and I can share um, the love Jesus Christ has for all of us,
Love it.
and what God's done for each one of us individually, where people can accept it where they are and grow in it the way I have, because that's not always been my story. I
Yeah.
have struggled to understand my faith and to grow in my faith. And quite frankly, the business has done more to do that than anything else in my life.
Really? So
Yeah.
so let me ask you about that. So what would you tell somebody who is watching this and saying, "Yeah, that's fine for her, but I'm just an art I just piddle at this art thing and it's just a hobby and I don't know." I bet you know all the questions and all the doubts that show up. What would you tell them?
I- that's been at the forefront of this transition this summer. And I've been blessed to be around some wonderful creative people who have instilled in me that understanding that God created that in us. It doesn't exist in everybody. Um, you know, my husband, his creativity is not in weaving or painting or drawing. He loves to farm. So much so that God speaks as he's farming. He understands the growth of people and the growth of plants,
Right.
God instilled in me a love of textiles and a love of weaving.
Nice.
And I've been able to understand that if I step forward and follow him in that, then I have favor because I'm doing what he created me to do. And that expands the territory that I have, the ability I have to reach others. I would have never met the client that I got to visit with last week
Right.
if it hadn't been for Kansas City Fashion Week, one of my models.
Right.
The fact that I was at Kansas City Fashion Week
Mhm.
has to do with another Christian business owner. God just continues to lead us out into places that we would never get to be. But because of what I do, we have a connection that we can start with and begin to talk from. And that part I love. And if you're struggling in your business, pray about it. Make sure you're doing what you really love to do, and don't be afraid to step out into
love
that.
it. You
Yeah.
know, I usually sum stuff up, but you said it best. Just don't be afraid to step out and be you. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being here. Check out the Shepherd Studio. If you have someone in your life that you really want to bless with something amazing that celebrates them,
Mhm.
what a wonderful, I can think of some people. I'm like, I need to call them. So wonderful. But, what a wonderful gift
Yeah.
to give somebody something custom designed for them that will last a lifetime. So
Right.
thank you again, Sally. It's been a pleasure to walk with you on this journey and have you be part of my world. I feel honored to even just be around you. So be you, connect with Sally, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Sounds great. Bye-bye.
Bye.